Hey everybody, it's Dr. Carmen Bright, and this is Car Chronicles. How are you? You doing all right? All right, let's do this. You know, we talked about the fact that some people are in these narcissist situations, right? And they live their life. It's almost like you live in a dream state. You know, especially when you've been traumatized, it's like you're constantly living in a dream. And a lot of times as you get older and maybe you've left that narcissist and you look back, there are certain things that you just cannot recall. The kids remember, but you can't recall because you're living on autopilot. And check this out. There's another thing, if you think about it for a minute, that you do. You have your children, you have friends, you have family, you have people around you that witness certain things that go on whenever you are with this narcissist, right? And what happens is say, you know, there's an assault, say there is some type of humiliation, you know, abuse, they love to show out in public. You know, so you get in public, they try to humiliate you because they think it's a power and control thing. So they think when they humiliate you, loud talk you, talk crazy, you know, I have to use those layman terms so you'll understand what I'm saying, but, you know, talk crazy, you know, that just demeaning, you know, just heartless. And they actually think that people think that they're a hero because they have control. They think that they have control, so they think that everybody else is applauding them. And in actuality, a lot of people are looking at them, you know, like the monster that they are. Like, what is wrong with this individual? And what happens is that a lot of times you're so humiliated or so embarrassed that after the event is over, you pretend like it never happened. And so you try to live, even with your children, you try to pretend like the event never happened. And your children remember. But you live your life like this. You know, like this has happened, it's all over with. You know, get your clothes, go take a bath, you know, come get your plates, you know. So you try to live your life from moment to moment, and you try to pretend like the event did not happen. And what happens is later on in life, when your children or family members, you know, people around you, friends, you know, whoever in your circle begin to tell you the events that happened, in your mind, you try to cover it up or you try to pretend like it never happened. And the more reality you come to, the more, you know, the more you begin that healing process, the more to the reality. Do you guys, matter of fact, let me just stop my thought right there in the middle. I want you guys to remember this scene out of What's Love Got to Do with It. Remember when Tina Turner was in the restaurant and Ike was trying to make her eat that cake and he mushed that cake in her face and the guy needs to just eat the cake, Anime, just eat the cake. But he mushed the cake in her face. And then later on, you know, he done went off on her friend and it was a big scene in that restaurant. And she was just trying to calm everybody down. Let's go. You know, like the event didn't happen just now. Let's just go. Let's, you know, some of you guys are living like that. Things happen and those narcissists think they're in control, and they think that they're in control by making these big scenes, because a lot of them that are overt make these really great, like my grandma, great big old scenes. You know, they make these great big old scenes. They make these scenes and they show off in front of people that they have all this control. They operate out of fear. Listen, they operate out of fear that you're going to be embarrassed. They operate out of fear that they're going to do something to you, or you're afraid they're going to do something to you. But they live off of fear. Fear becomes their adrenaline. Fear becomes their drug. And they do things because they know you fear being embarrassed. You fear being humiliated. You fear, you know, most of you guys hate confrontation. And let me tell you something that I teach people all the time. As you're coming out of the situation, you got to remember in life you're going to deal with confrontation. But that word confrontation, when you have been in a situation with a narcissist, the word confrontation always sounds like you're going to fight. Confrontation doesn't mean that you're going to fight all the time. Confrontation oftentimes means you have to confront something that's uncomfortable. You have to confront something. Doesn't mean you yell and scream or whatever. But that narcissist always has, it's like the picture in the dictionary when it says confrontation, you see that narcissist is like the Tasmanian devil. So you always attach drama and trauma and fights with the word confrontation. But oftentimes, you know, you have to confront situations that sometimes make you uncomfortable. You have to confront things. That's just what it is. But with that narcissist, you can always guarantee, I had to stop my thought for a minute to tell you what I was teaching people, but you have to remember that they operate out of fear. And oftentimes, as they're operating out of fear, the terrible thing about it is because you're so humiliated, you also dissociate. You dissociate in your own world. So it's bad enough that that narcissist is bringing you into their world. And their world is backwards. It's like a backwards, multi-dimensional facade or whatever they have created. What is right is wrong. What's wrong is right. You guys know, if you listen to Tell She with the T on MPD, where she talks about them backward walking giraffes, them backward flying penguins, them backward flying, backward flying birds, and the giraffes with the pockets in the back. Think about it. Now, we laugh at that for a minute, but thinking it's almost like a multiverse, an alternate universe. They create this universe, this reality for themselves that only they believe is reality. It's just like a person that has schizophrenia. You know, we know that they're not living in reality, but that is their reality. That narcissist creates their own reality. Not like schizophrenia. They create their own reality. What's right is wrong, what's wrong is right. That's why when they gaslight you, they make you feel like you're crazy. Like the things that you're saying, and you know you've researched something, or you know that something has a truth, and you tell them to make you feel crazy, like that is not real, that is not the truth. Your degree is not even worth the paper that is on, or, you know, or that reality, or that is not a fact. We'll fact check to see, and that is not true. And you're thinking like, nah, I know I learned this. I know I learned this on my job. I know I learned this at school. I know I learned this. But they're always checking you because they don't ever want you to be right. They want to be right with the reality they give you. They want to feed you the information so that you regurgitate what it is that they put in you. And the information that they're giving you oftentimes has like few facts in it, but the rest of it is garbage. It's not even, but it sounds real and it sounds really convincing because they can convince you. So they live in this universe that is not real. They pull you into this backward walking giraffe universe. They pull you into this they pull you into their world, and you get caught up in this world so much that you begin to dissociate. You begin to dissociate because the pressure and the trauma is so much you can't handle it. So you create your own reality and you start operating off of autopilot. You get up in the morning, get your kids something to eat, take them to school, go to work, come back home, or go to the grocery store, come back home, cook some food, put the kids to sleep, you go to bed, and recycle. Do it again. Every day, it's almost like the same thing every day. But that's the only thing you can do to maintain your focus, to maintain, the reality, the piece of reality that you're in. The pressure and the stress is so much that some of you guys feel like you're going to lose your mind because of the drama and the trauma that these narcissists put you through. And like I said, every time an event happens, you try to hurry up and try to make it seem as if it never happened. Until one day you get out of the situation and you grieve. And some people think, yes, you're already grieving that this whole situation was never real. You wasted my time. I was with you. You never let you. The reality finally hits. You were with me, but you never cared. I was the only person that cared in this situationship. I was the only person that cared. I had children. I wasted my life. I've given you my life savings. I've given you my retirement. I've done this investment. You grew this because of me. You begin to realize that it was your money that was sustaining them and making them look good and creating this facade. And they had you believing that you can't exist without them. You can't make it in this world without them. And one day you wake up to realize I was the thread that was holding everything together. It was never you. And you grieve because, yes, it was never real and I wasted this time. And you're hurt because someone has dragged you through time and they never cared. You were rejected. You were neglected. No, they made you feel like nobody wanted you. And this is how you felt. And the real grief is that I wasted so much time and I never got a chance to watch my children really grow up. Everything in my life has been a blur. I have wasted time where everything now is a blur. Your children are talking to you and they're telling you things that you can't even remember. That you can't even remember half the things that they're telling you because you lived your life dissociated. And those narcissists, there's much pressure they put on you. The dissociation was your defense mechanism, a psychological defense mechanism. And some of you guys, if you don't watch it and you keep going through what you're going through, you can have psychotic breaks. You can dissociate and not come back. and then you'll be in some type of inpatient treatment because that's where they've pushed you. And that to them is the ultimate sacrifice, to unalive yourself or for you to totally lose your mind, because then they know they have the power and you have entirely too much power.